water and precipitation from coming through the land bridge and depositing snow on Alaska and Siberia. That's what he said. But I also read a very interesting book which suggested that maybe 20,000 years ago, the North Pole might have used to be in Hudson's Bay. So, does that sound pretty crazy? So, it was based on this theory from a Canadian geologist in the 1940s, and he said that at various times in the past, the North Pole hasn't been in the same location. And once in a while, the Earth's crust will shift with respect to the core or the interior of the Earth. Okay, so right now the Earth's magnetic field is produced by convection currents in the liquid outer core. And for most of Earth's history, the crust of the Earth would realign itself with the magnetic field constantly. So for most of Earth's history, the assumption that the North Pole and North Magnetic Pole are the same is probably true. So in the Cretaceous, there would have been hardly any difference. But he says once you start to accumulate glaciers, this presses down on the Earth's crust, right? I don't know if you know this, but the crust under the continent of Antarctica is depressed by about 2 kilometers. So the weight of the ice is pressing down the Earth's crust. And then when you remove the weight of the glaciers, the crust can actually rebound. And that's what's happened with the prairies here. The prairies are actually rising a little bit year by year, and especially the area around Hudson's Bay is rising significantly year by year. And a lot of the old trading posts that were on Hudson's Bay are no longer at sea level anymore. So they're actually way above where the sea level is. Oh, really? Okay, so anyways, this guy, Charles Hapgood, says when you start to have glaciers, it holds the crust down in a particular configuration, and the magnetic field drifts, and the crust wants to realign itself with the magnetic field like it always does. It wants to be with its friends again, but the ice cap is holding it back. But when you melt the ice cap again, the crust can then realign itself, okay? So I'll show you something really neat too. This is my favorite one. Okay. So, I don't know if any of you have ever seen this, but this is the path of the North Magnetic Pole over the last 100 years. So 100 years ago in the early 1900s, the North Magnetic Pole used to be at about 70 degrees north latitude, but today it's above 80 degrees north latitude. So it's moved about 10 degrees in the last 100 years. Very strange. This isn't front page news again, but I'm not trying to spook anybody out here. I just think it's an interesting piece of information. Okay, so I don't know, does anybody have any questions about this sort of stuff? Or is this just way out there? Okay, good stuff. And back to Snowball Earth, maybe you had so much glaciation and it never melted away for many millions of years that the magnetic field drifted so much that we'd be looking at what we think is 0 degrees latitude, but it might be 30 degrees latitude or something like that. It's a possibility, right? Anyways. Okay, good stuff. Peace.
Oh.